It's for children, and it's about there's a mystery about a pirate and in the Caribbean, and the puppet is some sort of a hero at the end with the answer to the mystery and so on. So it's really has nothing to do with blackface, because blackface is not just about having a black performer or a black puppet or a black anything. It's blackface is really about stereotype, about showing a black person, usually a white person with a black face, but doing foolish thing, to say that black people are not intelligent and so on. That has nothing to do with the puppet of my client, who is some kind of a hero in this play.
That was a clip of a conversation I had last week with Guillaume Rousseau, who's the lawyer for Frank Sylvestre, a black Montreal Theatre performer who has filed a lawsuit against Alain Babineau, who I've had on the show frequently, an anti-racism activist for the Red Coalition. Frank Sylvestre is accusing Alain Babineau of associating his performance with racism against black people. He said that Babineau associated him and his puppet theater piece with racism, the submission of black people to white people, and even the supremacism and the dehumanization of black people. Claims, he says, have damaged his career. He claims that he's actually lost gigs because of these comments. Now the Red Coalition has spoken out about the lawsuit. Joining me now is Joël de Bellefeuille, entrepreneur, businessman, politician, federal lobbyist, and human rights activist. He joins me now. Thank you for your time this morning, Joël.
Thank you, David.
Just remind our listeners, you also play an important role at the Red Coalition.
That's correct.
What is your role there?
So I'm the executive director and founder of the Red Coalition.
All right. So what do you and the Red Coalition have to say about this lawsuit that was filed by Frank Sylvestre?
Well, look, we stand, behind our director, Alain Babineau, wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
The puppet, clearly its imagery is horrific. For those who haven't seen it, at first glance, it depicts 19th century, black minstrel shows, in our opinion, and shouldn't be shown to 4 to 11-year-old children.
And so Frank Sylvestre is claiming, and that's what his lawyer Guillaume Rousseau told me last week, that all of this amounts to defamation, which is interesting. It's gonna push the interpretation of defamation, because on the one hand, Alain Babineau is calling this racism. There's this bumps up against, obviously, freedom of expression. What do you feel that the claim says about where we are in the times right now?
Well, that we're going backwards. The fact that Mr. Sylvestre, doesn't have the insight to understand that this puppet is in itself, has racist undertones. For us, it's a huge problem. He needs to be more culturally sensitive to, the issues at hand. And, we need to kind of move forward as opposed to backwards. We think that, I'm not going to comment fully on the actual lawsuit. I'll leave that for our attorneys to answer. But, in our opinions, I mean, this is a huge problem, and it's just we're trying to move forward as society, not to go backwards. 20, 30 years ago, this may, I wouldn't say it was accepted, but be a little more tolerant, as opposed to, we're in 2023. And just as an example, Dave, I'm going a little bit off there.
Sure.
But for example, Aunt Jemima syrup. I mean, that was banned by PepsiCo back in 2021. So imagine if Mr. Sylvestre's puppet was actually the sticker on the side of the bottle of syrup. Now, that would be major, major controversial, right?
It would
be.
This
is what we're trying to display, is we're not trying to cancel the show, change your puppet, and we don't have a problem with it.
Okay, so he says, Sylvestre does, that he's lost bookings specifically because of those comments that were made. Now, again, the idea of, okay, you're raising what I world, but versus, okay, a black theater performer say, okay, this is my view of what my artistic view of what to express. Why can't he express it?
He can express. I mean, of course, yes, he's an artist. He wants to, what I personally have a problem with is the fact that, where's Mr. Sylvestre's self-esteem? He states that this puppet is a caricature of himself. And if he feels that this is the way he looks and how he wants to depict himself, well, maybe there's other, underlying things here. But, back to freedom of expression, you're free to express yourself, how you want, but not at the behest of others. If, people in the black community are being, hurt or bothered or reminiscent of issues with relations to black stereotypes, well, then you need to listen to the community that are speaking out against it. I heard an interview by Mr. Sylvestre on 98.5 FM a couple of weeks back where, he was asked by, the announcer if this puppet was the same and you, Mr. Sylvestre, a white man, would there be an issue with it? And he paused. He paused for a good 10 seconds. And at the end, he said, well, yes, then it would be problematic. So if you can understand that it's problematic if a white person was carrying the exact same puppet, then he needs to understand that it's the puppet that is the issue here. And that's what we're trying to. It doesn't matter that he's a black man with a black puppet. It's the puppet. The puppet is the center of focus where we are trying to, make sure that this is not, being displayed to the public. Change your puppet. We don't have a problem with it. I saw the show, and it does not. He's not, parading on the stage, in reference to what people would think as black minstrel. No, it's a story, but he doesn't need to have that puppet the way it looks in order to tell his story to the 4 to 11-year-olds.
What kind of reaction have you had from other members, leaders in the black community here in Montreal?
Oh, they completely understand where we're coming from. They back us entirely. And just to show how broad of a reach this has, on Friday I received a call from Jamaica, from a highly respected individual in the West Island, was vacationing there, and he actually called me and said, Joel, we back you, we support you, and everything that's going on with this suit here. And that it's a major issue. I mean, it's not at first glance. Again, there's no reason why this should be shown to 4 years old. I mean, that is their first view of what a black person should look like. That's what they're getting at. So imagine, families walking through Fairview, and the 4-year-old sees a black person, and then he starts pointing and laughing at that black person walking by.
Right.
Now, the mother and father are going to have to explain, most likely to the black person, sorry, my 4-year-old just came from this puppet show with a black puppet. I mean, I don't think I need to go further on what that would be. It would be an issue. So if we can easily identify that as an issue, Mr. Sylvestre should be able to easily identify it as being problematic.
That's all the time I have, Joël. I really appreciate your time this morning. Have a great week.
Thank you, David. Yourself as well.
Joël de Bellefeuille. He is the executive director of the Red Coalition. He's also an entrepreneur, businessman, politician, federal lobbyist, and a human rights advocate.